After students have mastered the skills in 5 NFA 1, you move on to 5 NFA 2, which is the same exact skills, but a little bit expanded because you're looking at these skills in the form of a word problem instead of just a standard equation. So explain to your students that they are going to apply the same exact skills, just a little bit differently. So keep the anchor charts that you used in the first standard so that students can reference them just to refresh them on those skills if they need it. Moving forward to NFA 2, have either an old anchor chart for problem solving or create a new one if you don't already have one. Students should have already had experience with solving word problems and setting up a plan to have a solution. But you don't want to just assume that they're all masters at this. So make sure that you do have a resource such as this anchor chart here, the UPS check, understand, plan, solve, and check, to explain the steps that we take to pull apart and solve word problems. So when you're doing this, share a personal experience when you've had to use the addition and subtraction of fractions, kind of frame it within a story or a word problem, essentially. Pause and ask students if they understand the problem and the skills that they need to solve the problem. So pull on their prior knowledge of the skills that they used with the last standard, as well as with problem solving in general. And then ask students how they would solve your problem. So if I have to bake a cake and I need to use, I don't know, a half of a cup of sugar, but all I have is a third of a cup of sugar, or not a third of a cup, it's more, or a fourth of a cup of sugar. How much more do I need? So frame the problem as a personal problem and ask students for their help. How would they strategize in getting the right amount of sugar for your cake? And solve the problem together. Also, constantly remind your students of the steps for problem solving, not just for the use of addition and subtraction in fractions with different denominators and making them equivalent. So discuss the strategies that they use, offer opportunities for students to explain themselves through models, if you can. That is such a big deal, especially when you consider the standards for mathematical practice. Anytime that you can incorporate modeling with math is key. This demonstration also pulls on other standards for mathematical practice. First, making sense of problems and persevering in solving them. Problem solving is something that these students are going to take with them throughout school and even after school. So being with them the whole time, working through problems step by step by step with them, taking their ideas into consideration, offering suggestions if they need it. Don't give them answers. Give them time to think and strategize on their own. But if they need a gentle push in towards the right direction, obviously give them that. Another mathematical practice standard is using appropriate tools strategically. So when we're asking students for their help and what their strategies would be, they need to pull on their prior knowledge, the strategies and tools that they have to say, well, we could do this to make the fractions equivalent. And, as I'm pulling apart this word problem, it looks like it's going to be an addition problem. So they need to use the tools as far as unpacking a word problem or different strategies for making two different fractions equivalent. They need to use those tools strategically to be able to explain to you why that works.